Live on the Spartan Sports Network, it's Wyomissing Boys Basketball. Brought to you by the new Birdie's Inn, 160 Old Friedensburg Road at 5 Points in Exeter, the home of the best burgers and burgers. Mortgage America, big enough to provide the best rates, small enough to provide personal service. And Goosehead Insurance, the Coley Insurance Group, the power of choice. Now to the Spartan Sports Network broadcast booth. Here's your announcer, Ryan Lineweaver.
Welcome into Wyomissing High School. I am Ryan Lineweaver. Thanks for that intro there, Jerry, even though he's not here. And we have boys basketball action here this evening. We got senior night. We got a little bit of youth night as well here, where we will get to enjoy a little bit of this. High school basketball hoops right here on the Spartan Sports Network. So, yeah, into the house that Wyo built is Brandywine Heights, home of the worst jerseys humanly possible here in the BCIAA. I will rail against this all night, but lest I say that dark gray numbers on maroon jerseys, not happening. It's just not a thing. They're not enough of a contrast, and I'm going to have a heck of a time during this broadcast. I brought it up like 4 years ago during an Exeter girls broadcast where they played Brandywine Heights, and we were sitting even closer to the court than we are now, and it was really difficult to see. So I will do my best to bring this to you. It's not nearly as bad as you think, especially when they wear the undershirts, but it's still super interesting. Not something that I like to revisit all the time, but Wyo getting their starting lineup going out here. Sorry, it is just youth night. So you got Danny Fleischhood, welcome back. He's back in the starting lineup after he was out just a couple of games ago. So he's back in there and kicking. Arguelles, Latourell. You also have Rivera and Corey Eisenhower rounding out the starting five here for the Wyo Spartans, wearing their home white jerseys with the navy blue trim. I don't need to tell you what type of jerseys that Brandywine Heights is wearing. We will take a quick break here for the national anthem, and when we return, we'll have boys basketball hoops right here on the Spartan Sports Network. Just about ready for tip-off here at Wyo. Wyo coming in, needing a little bit of love. We'll say 4 straight losses for the Spartans here. We covered the first one against Eastern York. That one, they were missing Danny Fleischhood. You're thinking, all right, non-league match, no harm, no foul. They did then go on the road to Schuylkill Valley on Friday, dropped a 5-point contest there. That makes things a little bit more interesting. In Berks 3, Wyo fell behind 20-11. They were down by 10 at the break. They tried a madcap dash towards the end there. They shaved 5 off in the third, but it just wasn't enough. As that one, once again, they were without their leading scorer in Danny Fleischhood as they win the opening tip here. Then they went on the road and lost by 11 to Manheim Central. Again, kind of no harm, no foul in a non-league contest. Manheim Central, a very, very good basketball team this season. As Fleischhood, a little elbow jumper is left short. Rebound that time by Clark. Winkler will lead the charge here for Brandywine Heights. They did get Fleischhood back for that game against Manheim Central. They gave up 24 to Mason Rogers as that one an incomplete assignment. Fleischhood skies for the board. Arguillas into the corner. That three just off the mark that time. Nice job by Arguillas. Active hands. Brandywine will take over here in the half court. Yeah, Manheim Central, just 2 losses so far, 17-2. So losing by 11 to them on the road, not that bad. But the one that'll sting a little bit is the loss to Hamburg. Also in Burke's 3 is, well, dipsy-do here. Rivera ends up turning it over. A 3 goes in and out that time. Arguillas loses the handle, and it will be a backcourt. Fleischhood had 17 against the Hawks, but they gave up a 30 spot to Ty Worley. That was pretty much all she wrote. Worley, if he's not tops, then he's pretty darn close to the top at 22 points per game. Wyo doing not much to slow him down. As that one, Hamburg ended up pulling away. Wyo had the lead going into the fourth quarter, gave up 27 points in the fourth. As Tommy Clark gets his first bucket. Finally opening somebody's scoring account here this evening. Yeah, Hamburg 11-8, 4-5 in Burke's 3. That one will sting a little bit if you're Wyo. So looking to shake all of that off here. They have a 3-game homestand to finish off the regular season, and that starts right here against Brandywine Heights. Brandywine doing just fine for themselves. They're 11-9, 6-4 in Burke's 4 play. They need a win here this evening in the worst way. Currently 6-4 within the division. They do have one last game against Antietam. This could go a long way towards shoring up any concerns that they might have. They've won 2 out of their last 3 as a deep 3 on the way by LaTerrell. And the Spartans take their first lead. It's 3-2. Tulpe had a 5-game winning streak snapped. So it will be Scotty Ray. I believe he's wearing number 3 this evening instead of 13. That would have been my guess. Fleischhood down on the left block, and we're going to have an offensive foul called on Fleischhood. Going to say that he lowered the boomstick that time on the low block. Can't do that. Yeah, Brandywine Heights, not an easy start to their season. They were 3 games under 500 after a loss to Upper Perk, and they have turned it on ever since. That was Brecken Hermany with another bucket. It's 6-3 in favor of the visitors. Yeah, they were in dire straits. They were 4-7 leading up to the new year. As we'll have a turnover here, I believe, off Rivera. And then things have just kind of turned around for them ever since. After going into the break with just 4 wins, they now have 11. Ended up 7-2. They won 5 straight to open up the new year here in 25. Lost to Kutztown in divisional action, then beat Palisades, Conestoga Christian in a nail-biter before losing to Tulpehocken in another nail-biter. And talk about games that will end up irking them to no end. That is certainly one of them here for the Bullets, as Clark makes his first at the stripe. Brandywine Height will be kicking themselves. They had a 4-point advantage going into the fourth quarter and end up losing to the Trojans. For the Trojans, their first win in Berks play, just their third all season long out of 20 attempts. Do the math, they're 3-7. So Brandywine looking to get back on the winning trend after that unfortunate loss for them. It's knocked out of bounds. Stay with the Spartans. It'll be Eisenhower on the baseline. Arguillas driving, dumping off on the doorstep, and finding Ziegler. So Ziegler fresh into the game. Gets his first bucket. Try to cut through the paint, nothing there. I'll flash through to the low block and swing it back around. And I believe that we're going to have a travel there, and sure will. That time, Winkler trying to do a little too much, ended up losing control of the basketball while trying to spin through the lane. Yeah, meanwhile, for Wyo, they do have 2 games remaining. Like I said, both at home as part of a 3-game homestand as that near corner 3 by Ziegler drops through. It's now all knotted up at 8. But they will finish against Weiser and then against Fleetwood. It was Hermany again, his first triple of the contest. Three from the far corner this time, no good. Diving back in. The offensive board and the putback attempt was Rivera, and he will be rewarded with 2 at the stripe. Foul called on Tommy Clark. That'll be his first, team's first. Deshaun Rivera, 5.3 points per game, misses the first. A 41.2% free throw shooter. Does better at home. Misses both, not from the foul stripe, but that time Ziegler there to clean up the miss. 7 now for him in a quick spurt off the bench. It's been a difference maker since entering the contest. Yeah, as I was saying, Rivera, 5.9 points per game at home, 5.2 on the road. Shoots more free throws at home, too. This time it'll be Tommy Clark going back to the stripe. Foul was on Ziegler, so he's just stuffing the stat sheet in any way that he can. First one drops for Clark. And the second one swishes through for Clark as well. Tommy Clark averaging 16.7 points per game. Has 6 here in the first. 3 by La Terrell is buttery smooth. His second of the quarter. Just like that, the Spartans keeping pace here. 13 apiece. And Clark was 12.8 points per game last year, 16.7 this year. Makes about a 3 per contest, so there you go. That one just off the mark, that time by Hermany to the right. In transition, Arguillas amongst the trees, gets the bank. "90 seconds left here in the opening stanza. Surprisingly, Tommy Clark, just a 58.9% free throw shooter. Making 2.8 out of 4.7 every game. 4 for 4 here. Winkler is their leading scorer. He has it now, driving to his left, now dropping it off. Left corner three this time, too strong by Fenstermacher. Minute left here. Into the corner, a little step back three that time. Ziegler with 9. Make it 10. They got it right there on the scoreboard finally. Pair of threes and a pair from inside the arc, giving him double digits here in the first. Brandywine may just hold for one, and nope, they're going to go right after it. Tommy Clark, another bucket. He has 8. So now it'll be Wyo with one more chance. Ziegler, heat check three. That one too short. Nice job by Rivera, who has it stripped away immediately by Fenstermacher. Now Fenstermacher forcing the issue at the other end. Will have a foul on the floor. It'll stop the clock with 15.6. Foul's going to be on Arguelles. That'll be his first. Team's 4th. Looks like it'll be Jackson Henry checking in. His first minutes for the Bullets. 6 seconds left now. Have to hurry, trying to go down low, being denied by Ziegler. Now he's on the floor grabbing the loose ball. Don't count anything, but whoo boy. That quarter was all about Berkey Ziegler. He averages 11.2 points per game. He has almost that just after one. Chances are he might get a little bit more burn here this evening. Well, we'll find out when we return here on the Spartan Sports Network.
The new Birdie's Inn is Exeter's family spot with great food and beverages and activities for all ages. There's a full selection of beverages to go with your meal or while you watch a game on one of the 35 TVs. For the kids, there's a family game area as well as darts and a pool table. You can eat in the indoor dining room or out on the spacious heated deck. The new Birdie's Inn at 160 Old Friedensburg Road at 5 Points in Exeter. Proud sponsors of Berks County High School Athletics.
At Birdie's Inn we meet again.
Well, it's all the Berkeley Ziegler show. 10 points in the first quarter coming off the bench here for the senior forward. Another one of those players that does better at home, 9.8 points per game as opposed to 7.3 on the road. Must be something about this home court, too. He averages 2.6 threes made per game at home and just half of a three-pointer made on average on the road. So once out of every 2 road games, he'll have a three-pointer in hand. That one trying to wrap it around. Rivera picks it off. His pass was intercepted. Now it's taken down by Arguelles, whose pass is picked off. Now the other way. Finally, we can get off this ride. It'll be Henry with his first bucket. 3 by La Terrell, too strong. Ziegler got a hand on it, ends up tipping it right to Henry. Brandywine Heights with the Argyle, and they're going to say that Ziegler got him with the body before he got him with the hack. It sounded like all ball, but they're going to say Ziegler hit him with the body first. So it'll be 2 at the stripe here for Scotty Ray. Rattles in the first. Scotty Ray, 8.1 points per game. %70 free throw shooter. Hits both. Eisenhower back into the contest. Max Tipton also in. Tipton that time nearly tossing it away. Gets tipped out over the end line. Arguillas nearly losing the handle as he has to give it up. Nice passing that time. Hot potato. Excellent job from Eisenhower to Tipton. And finally to La Terrell, who finishes. Deep three that time. A little too strong by Clark. Moyer into the contest for Wyo. Tipton finds Moyer. Moyer, nice move along the baseline, gets an easy bucket down low. There's a name that we don't call very often, but sure glad that we did here. As Daniel Moyer, averaging 3.4 per game, gets about half of that. And Ziegler once again picking off the pass, gets it into La Terrell, saves it from going out of bounds. Now let's finish the job as Tipton. Too strong. You could feel it coming. Tipton clanging it off the backboard. That one tipped up into the air. As La Terrell now flinging it deep all the way down to Ziegler. Clip that one. Or sorry, to Eisenhower. There's 25. Heck of a job that time. We're going to have a foul here on the Bullets. Turnover and the harm as Smeltz called for the personal. His first, team's first. And we'll have a timeout taken here by the Bullets. I believe it's a 30-second. Or not. It is a 30-second. Usually players don't go and sit down during a 30-second timeout. Usually they're all standing up and huddled around the coach. 24-19. Wyo slowly stretching that first quarter lead. Up by 3 after 1. Outscoring Brandywine 6-4 here in the second. Teams will re-enter. The Spartans take it from all the way at the other end of the court. Good movement here by the Spartans, using Tipton as that triangle partner there. Tipton gets the offensive board, gets his own miss, tries to put it back up, and got to try harder than that. Not Max Tipton. He tried plenty hard, but the Bullets, if you would like to stop him this evening. Big boy basketball that time by Max Tipton, looking for 3 the hard way. Tipton completes the three-point play. Wyo now with a 27-19 lead, their largest of the game. Sometimes it's that slow, steady drip as throwing himself in amongst the trees. Not going to get it done that time by Kosha. A 3 by Moyer in and out. Now we're back the other way. La Terrell gets called for the hack. Frustrated with himself that he was well positioned, but ended up missing everything except for, I believe, the dome schnizzle here of Winkler. So now Winkler looking for the three-point play as Ziegler will take the place of La Terrell. Winkler finally on the board, scoreless through the first, quarter and a half. Bullets come back up with it now, just down 5 after the 3-point play. They can make it 2 here. That one too strong off back iron. Ziegler the board. Ziegler, corner 3, in and out. Thought Brandywine Heights' coach was trying to defend him there for a hot second, and Arguillas will be called for the personal. As Clark, another big boy bucket. Now makes it a 3-point contest. It was 8 not that long ago. Blink and you miss it. Six straight points for Brandywine have cut it to a 2-point deficit with about halfway gone here through the second. Wyo 9 points in the stands, out to Moyer. Moyer a little too long on the release. 2v3 as Moyer comes up with the steal. Now getting things moving ahead. Up to Arguillas. Arguillas, that left-handed scoop, not going to get it done. 3-on-2 the other way, and we have a tie. Try that again. We have a tie basketball game as Winkler, his second bucket, now give him 5. I'll try to slow some things down here. Looking for Moyer, tipped and throws it away. An 8-0 run by Brandywine Heights here over the past minute and change has changed the second quarter here, not for the better for the Spartans. Doesn't take much. They can take the lead here. Tommy Clark with a little shout to the student section as well. Now a 3-point Brandywine Height advantage. Arguillas jabs to his right, now gets stuck in the paint. Eisenhower trying to dish it off to Fleischhood, ends up getting picked off. 2v2 the other way. They have a wide open Gunner. It was that trailing man that time. Not going to get it done, it was Winkler. They'll get a second chance opportunity here off the board. Going right at Eisenhower, down on the low block, got him up. And that one, a little bit of fairy dust on it. I don't know how that thing ended up teetering back towards the center of the cup, but it did. Winkler had nothing going on for the longest time, and just like that, blink an eye, he has 7. It's now a 13-0 run here for Brandywine. Tipped in a 3. That one airballed. But a nice follow that time will break the stretch as Ziegler gets off the schneid. That snaps the 13-0 skid. Little turnaround Jay just outside the paint. Nice job there by Scotty Ray. 6 now for him. Tipton going all the way across to Eisenhower for 3. All is not lost here for the Spartans. Trailing just by 2. It's 34-32. They've scored 5 out of the last 7. Need a nice stop here, or a chance at knotting the game up or taking the lead going into the break. .42 seconds left. Trying to split a double team. Fleischhood or Arguillas called for the personal. Thought it might have been tied up before that. No replay. Not yet, anyway. Bullets once again. Working on Fleischow down on the low block. They'll launch a three. Tommy Clark, ruthless from beyond the arc here. His second three of the quarter. He now has 17. So now Wyo unable to close the gap to a tie at the very worst. That one intercepted. Nice save. It'll end up being Ziegler for three. That was a nice thought. That's how the first half will end. A 13-0 run, completely flipping this one on its head. It changed an 8-0 Wyo lead into a 5-point deficit, and that's where it currently sits, 37-32 after the first half of play. We will take a break and be back for second half action when we return here on the Spartan Sports Network.
Discover the power of choice with Goosehead Insurance, the Coley Insurance Group. Coley Insurance Group is a fully independent insurance agency here to put you first. With access to 30-plus top-rated insurance carriers, they ensure you get the best coverage at the best price. Whether it's auto, home, or life insurance, they've got you covered. At Goosehead Insurance, the power of choice is always yours. Call Goosehead Insurance agent Brad Coley today at 484-838-6088. Mortgage America is Berks County's premier local mortgage lender. Why choose Mortgage America? They're a fully licensed regional mortgage banker, not just a broker. They service their own loans and offer a full menu of mortgage programs. Their turnaround times and service are unmatched in the industry, big enough to provide the best rates, yet small enough to provide personal service. Local loans for local homes. Contact Chris 9 at Mortgage America today at 610-376-1755. This week's Iron Valley Real Estate Showcase of Homes. 105 Windsor Street in Reading has large living spaces and a newly remodeled kitchen on the first floor, which give way to two different stairways to the upstairs where 3 bedrooms and 1 bath await. 165 Octagon Avenue in Sinky has 2 tastefully updated baths, new AC and gas heater, a kitchen with some new appliances, and a great shaded backyard. Don't miss the opportunity to make these charming homes your own. Schedule a viewing today by calling Iron Valley at 484-450-8771. Iron Valley Real Estate. Make your move. The new Birdie's Inn is Exeter's family spot with great food and beverages and activities for all ages. There's a full selection of beverages to go with your meal or while you watch a game on one of the 35 TVs. For the kids, there's a family game area, as well as darts and a pool table. You can eat in the indoor dining room or out on the spacious heated deck. The new Birdie's Inn at 160 Old Friedensburg Road at 5 Points in Exeter. Proud sponsors of Berks County High School Athletics.
At Birdie's Inn we meet again.
You're watching the Spartan Sports Network on Jerry Gelliff Media.
Welcome back. Spartans trailing 37-32 at the break. They did lead in this one, led by a pretty healthy margin. It was 27-19 at one point during the second quarter, and then a 13-0 run by the Bullets. Completely turned this one upside down, and now it's Wyo chasing Brandywine Heights as we enter the second half of play here. Part of Wyo's issues are, well, when your leading scorer is back and he hasn't scored yet, probably a precursor for things that need to change at halftime. And for the Spartans, Danny Fleischhood, unfortunately, without any type of scoring account opened here through the first two quarters, certainly most likely going to be getting some looks here to open up the third to try to get him going after failing to do so in the first half. For the Spartans, it was Berkeley Ziegler coming off the bench. He had 10 in the first quarter, just 2 in the second, but still a dozen leads the Spartans so far. Terrell with 8. And really, there just wasn't much to speak of there in the second quarter. 14 points for the Spartans, 5 by Eisenhower, who hit a 3. Tipped in with a tough three-point play as well. But not an awful lot else going on, as Moyer and Terrell, the only other two with buckets in the second. So they will look to get Fleischhood off the schneid here, opening up the third quarter. For Brandywine, they are led by Tommy Clark. Clark is pretty much right on his average with 17. Winkler woke up a bit there in the second as their leading scorer finally opening his eyes. 7 points for him in the second quarter. Scotty Ray with 6, Braden Hermany with 5, and Henry with 2. That's how the cookie crumbles for Brandywine Heights. They go right to Danny Fleischhood, getting the ball in his hands. Kicks it out to Eisenhower, who hits an immediate 3. His second triple, give him 5. That lead diced to just 2. Nice way for the Spartans to come out there. Even nicer backdoor cut that time by Winkler, who now has 9. Fleischhood an open 3. Call me Nostradamus. Fleischhood his first bucket. It comes from beyond the arc, trims the gap to just 1. It's 39-38 with 7:04 left here in the third. Looking for the backdoor cut. Rivera was game that time, read that one like a book. Knocks it out of bounds. Taking a peek at what is ahead here for the Spartans. They take on a bit of an enigma here in a Conrad Weiser team who was 11-8 overall, just 4-6 in Burke's play. They've been uneven all season long. They had a 3-game winning streak to start the year. And since then, they have yet to pick up more than 2 games in either direction. As they've had a 2-game winning streak, they've had a 2-game losing streak, followed by a 2-game winning streak, and then splitting with Exeter and Twin Valley. So you're never quite sure what Scouts team you're going to get. As Rivera that time, big-time swat. And we're going to have a jump ball. It will stay here with the Bullets. So yeah, just kind of an uneven team so far. Led by Donovan Gingrich, who has 16.6 points per game. Gavin Rapp behind him with just a shade under 13. But yeah, just if it wasn't for their 3-game winning streak to start the season, they would be 8-8 overall. And it's by virtue of winning a game, losing a game, winning 2 games, losing 2 games. And, it's kind of unfortunate that they haven't been able to catch fire here towards the end, but we'll see what's left here. They have a 5-game road schedule. Lost to Exeter Township by 17, beat Twin Valley by 3 last night. They play Governor Mifflin tomorrow. And then they'll have Wyo on Monday and Fleetwood on Wednesday. That time, Arguelles goes foul seeking and finds one. He can help the Spartans take the lead here. Arguelles averaging just under 12 per game, swishes the first. He's a 50% free throw shooter. This is his first trip here this evening. Averages about 2 trips to the stripe every single game. Makes 1 of 2. Rivera, nice job tracking down the loose ball. New shot of life here for the Spartans. Rivera unable to handle the hot potato there. Fleischa driving in, looking for a little bit of help. Not going to find it. Loses the handle over the end line. So we'll see what you end up getting there out of Weiser. Could go either way. And then you finish up against the Fleetwood Tigers on the road. Fleetwood 4-14, currently sitting in the basement of Burke's 3. Nice find. Some tic-tac-toe passing that time as Smeltz gets on the board. Arguelles looking for a little bit of help there from the referee. Calls a timeout. It'll be a 30-second variety, so we'll stay here. Yeah, meanwhile, the other side of things with the Fleetwood Tigers. Fleetwood has fallen off here from their district runs of years past, as they're currently sitting at 4-14, 3-6 overall. They've lost 8 of their last 9. They play Hamburg tomorrow evening before hosting Wyo on Tuesday, and then finishing up themselves against Conrad Weiser. Lost in hard luck fashion last night to Daniel Boone. Brennan Gaines had 18 for the Blazers, as they withstood a Fleetwood rally. Daniel Boone dropped in 21 in the first quarter. They were up by 13 after 1, 11 at the break, and Fleetwood just kept chipping away. Daniel Boone then only led by 5 entering the fourth, and Fleetwood just coming up a point shy. Little floater from the elbow, left short by La Terrell. An open 3 from the top of the key. Maybe a little bit more time than he thought he had there for Hermany. Sometimes you can just think about a little too much. Eisenhower and Arguelles will chuck it back and forth. Rivera losing the handle. They'll give it up. La Terrell, a right corner 3, gets it to bang home. 11 for Drew, and the Spartans now with a 1-point lead. A little over halfway left to play here in the third. Welcome sight up on the scoreboard. Blue and white now leading by 1. Well, and that's what happens when you decide to, and this is going to be very basketball purist of me, so forgive me for a hot second, but going up to the left-hand side of the basket and trying to shoot with your right hand is always a disaster for exactly what happened right there, which is you're not guarding the basketball as Eisenhower too strong off back iron. La Terrell able to corral the miss, his floater in and out. But sometimes it just makes it so much easier to block that basketball. Is now the other way. Tommy Clark now with 19. The Bullets back on top. My mind's stuck on Daniel Boone. Big old Euro step that time. Arguelles now with 5. Not quite a Joel Embiid Euro step there, but Euro step all the same. Not everyone's 7'1 or 7'2, or he's a little bit shorter when he's sitting on the bench all this time, I guess. It's probably about 5'6 on the bench. Touched last by the Bullets. Listen, I can make Joel Embiid jokes. He's now missed 400 NBA games in his entire career and somehow has made like $224 million over that time for appearing in half of the games. So, great work if you can get it. Guess it helps being 7-1 and uber talented. Spartans in over and back that time. Now lead by one. Excellent job there by La Terrell, getting his hand over top of that pass. We'll fling it into the corner. Rivera, little pump fake, drives in, gets two. His first bucket. That's a little bit more like it. Spartans on top by 3. Driving in, trying to dish. Ended up catching La Terrell that time was Ray. That one hangs on the front of the rim, no good. Eisenhower ahead. Arguelles with the miss. Unable to finish with the left. And referee looking for some help, and well, the crowd will let him know about it, I guess. They don't agree. The baseline ref had no idea who that was off of. For a little bit of help. Spartans up for a possession. And tough bucket either way for Clark. His wildness led to a second chance there for Winkler. Winkler now in double digits with 11. Under 2 to play here in the third. Finds a cutting Eisenhower. Eisenhower, his floater no good. Fleischhood unable to finish the putback. Now hoping for a tie-up, and he's going to be called for the personal. Listen, you know what? You will take that type of aggression from Danny Fleischhood. Maybe a little out of control, sure. Maybe not quite the shot selection that you're hoping for, but at least getting after it and showing a little bit of fight here. Listen, if you're not going to get on the stat sheet in one way, darn sure that the coaching staff is hoping for him to contribute in other ways as well. So no reason to get down on yourself, young fella. This time just playing trailing defender. Using that athleticism. Nice job cutting off the baseline, but even still, some crafty moves that time by Nathan Winkler. Even against the excellent defense of Fleischhood. Able to slip past him. Bullets retaking the lead on that. Wireless loses control, kick out to Eisenhower. That one's short. It's poked out to Fleischhood. Fleischhood unable to corral. Down the other way, that one a miss. And stay with the Bullets. Moyer will check in. He'll take the place of Fleischhood, who will pop a squat on the bench for the last 50 seconds or so. And kind of a slower third quarter here, not in terms of pace, but certainly in terms of scoring. Brandywine with just 10 after dumping in 15 and 22 in their past 2 quarters. Looking for a dozen or maybe a baker's dozen. 28 seconds left. Looking down low baseline, nice spin move. That pivot foot slip, sliding, and they're going to call Fenstermacher for the walk. Nice call there. He just kept sliding towards the baseline. And you're like, hey, dude, you got a pivot foot. You can't do that. That pivot foot's got to stay stuck in the ground right where you planted it. So one last chance here for the Spartans, now trailing by 1. Little dribble handoff with Eisenhower. Arguelles driving, kicking, a 3. And that'll do it for the third period of action. Wyo getting back into this contest a little bit. 14 here in the third. Outscoring Brandywine and closing that gap to just 1 as we enter the fourth period of play. More to come here on the Spartan Sports Network when we return in just a few moments.
This week's Iron Valley Real Estate Showcase of Homes. 105 Windsor Street in Reading has large living spaces and a newly remodeled kitchen on the first floor, which give way to 2 different stairways to the upstairs where 3 bedrooms and 1 bath await. 165 Octagon Avenue in Sankey has 2 tastefully updated baths, new AC and gas heater, a kitchen with some new appliances, and a great shaded backyard. Don't miss the opportunity to make these charming homes your own. Schedule a viewing today by calling Iron Valley at 484-450-8771. Iron Valley Real Estate. Make your move.
Back in action for the fourth quarter of play here. Spartans trailing by 1. Struggling inbound it here to Arguelles. Ziegler has checked in to start the fourth. It'll be Arguelles, Eisenhower, LaTorrell, Moyer, and Ziegler out on the court. Did I say Ziegler enough? Once or twice. There's only one of them out there on the court if I said him twice. Ziegler looking down low. Creating some options. Tough chance there in the paint. But Moyer finishing up. Got it in 1. Moyer to the stripe. Moyer, again, a 40% free throw shooter. Has made 100% of them at home. And, of course, I said it, so it wouldn't happen. And we're going to have a jump ball here. We'll stay with the Bullets. They blew that whistle pretty doggone quick as soon as that ball hit the floor. No need for a skirmished outbreak here in a tight ball game. 7:16 left here in the fourth. Bullets looking for some help. Double teaming immediately off of that pick and roll. Driving in, tough bucket. Go up and get some there, Nathan Winkler. Winkler had 6 in the third, now has 15, a 3 for LaTorrell. His 4th of the evening, and the Spartans back on top by 2, and oh man, Nathan Winkler getting started. Getting his in a hurry here. Back to the line he goes. Just 1 of 1 in this one. Winkler, again, a 56.8% free throw shooter. Actually shoots better away from his friendly confines. A 65% free throw shooter away from home. He also shoots about half the amount of free throw attempts per game. A little bit of home cooking there for Brandywine. Misses the first. Winkler holding on 15. Make it 16. 1 of 2 at the stripe, 2 of 3 this evening. Willis being hounded by Winkler, ended up losing him. They actually have a little bit of possession here. LaTorrell too strong. Yeah, Winkler was hanging out behind everyone. That one hanging on the doorstep, not going to get it. La Terrell the board. And a foul by Clark. Clark, that's his second. Team's second. Part of Wyo's turnaround here in the second half is by clamping down on Tommy Clark. Clark had 17 in the first half, just 2 points in the third. A three lined up by Eisenhower. That one airballed. Luckily enough for him, it'll stay with the Spartans. Got a nail biter here in the new gym. Between two teams that could really use a victory here this evening. Wyo looking to snap a 4-game losing streak. Eisenhower, instead drawing his defender out, he'll pass it up. A three by La Terrell now, and a late push-off after the shot was up. Scotty Ray will be called for the personal. What a ill-advised foul that was. You're down by one with 5:30 left, and you're deciding to hack him well after that ball was up in the air. They're going to call it a foul on the floor. I guess they're trying to say that it occurred far enough after the shot attempt that, well, it's going to belong to the Bullets now. That it was not the, well, and look, this is where we get into the confusion between NBA rules, where you have that Kobe rule, basically, where, you know, Kobe used to flail his leg out looking for that late trailing foul. You know, it was part of his shooting motion. You can't help the guy for that, but there was also an intent there that that leg would happen to get tripped up an awful lot, and he would get some freebies as a result. As a three, that one short. Moyer the board. So you had it like, all right, well, if you're getting fouled after the shot attempt, like if it's a continuation of your shooting motion and you get fouled as a result, it counts as part of your shooting motion. You go to the line to shoot. Not so much here. They consider that one to be on the floor after the shot attempt. So he'd already landed, his shooting motion was complete, and then he was fouled on the floor. Moyer, a far three. That one too short as well. They'll look to dump it off on the doorstep again for Ziegler. Ziegler, he's been quiet since the first quarter for the most part. Just his 4th point since then, but he now has 14. Just time for the team lead here. Lead is up to 3. It's been as many as 8. It was a 27-19. Driving in and feeling rejected was Clark again. 3-on-3 as Arguelles will just split the defense. Split the defense, and we'll have a timeout right here taken by Wyo. It'll be the full variety, it looks like. And we will take one as well. 3:53 left here in the fourth. Wyo back on top by 5 when we return right here on the Spartan Sports Network.
Mortgage America is Berks County's premier local mortgage lender. Why choose Mortgage America? They're a fully licensed regional mortgage banker, not just a broker. They service their own loans and offer a full menu of mortgage programs. Their turnaround times and service are unmatched in the industry, big enough to provide the best rates, yet small enough to provide personal service. Local loans for local homes. Contact Chris 9 at Mortgage America today at 610-376-1755. Discover the power of choice with Goosehead Insurance, the Coley Insurance Group. Coley Insurance Group is a fully independent insurance agency here to put you first. With access to 30-plus top-rated insurance carriers, they ensure you get the best coverage at the best price. Whether it's auto, home, or life insurance, they've got you covered. At Goosehead Insurance, the power of choice is always yours. Call Goosehead Insurance Agent Brad Coley today at 484-838-6088.
Back here in New Gym, 3:56 remaining here in the fourth. 5-point advantage for the Spartans. It's a feisty defense that time by Eisenhower, and oh man, an awkward collision that time as Clark was barreling through the lane. He barely had possession of that basketball as he went tumbling through. Him and I believe La Terrell ended up meeting, and now Clark grabbing that ankle. Might have turned it over. It'll stop play here with 3:45 left. And taking a peek up ahead at the schedule. Yeah, Berks 2 is a bit of a flaming hot mess this year. Right now it's Exeter Township at 10-10 leading the way, 6-4 in Berks 2 action. Yee. Weiser 11-8, 4-6 within divisional play. Then you have Boone at 7-12, 2-7. Twin Valley 7-12, 0-9 in Berks play as well. As Clark is helped up off the court. Walking gingerly on that ankle. Now he'll be turned over to the training staff, although take him back to the training room right off the main court here. Take a look at him. He's already walking a little bit better now that he's up and on that ankle. With under 4 to play, he might be done here for the rest of this one. I think Wyo has kind of found their 5 here towards the end. Nice backdoor cut by Arguelles. Oh, man. That one, I don't know how it didn't drop through. It was an excellent give and go that time. Moyer up in the air, didn't time that one quite well enough. Ball's still kind of loose, and now we're getting real feisty. As Ziegler and Scotty Ray going after it. It'll stay with the Bullets. Winkler will take it out of bounds here. They're going to give a foul to Ziegler. I realized that they were dropping one on him that time, and nice quick inbounds pass, and oh man, Ray will want that back as it should be an and one situation and close that gap even further. Instead, maybe he'll get 2 at the stripe. In and out. He'll get 1 and like it if he's lucky. Bit of a turn of events there for the Bullets. A nip and tuck game like this, you take points wherever you can find them, and can't leave them off the scoreboard either. Is 1 of 2 there for Scotty. Now 4-point game. Arguelles. That pass read like a book. Bullets thinking about it. In transition, Winkler gets 2 more. Winkler has turned it on here. Now up to 18, just behind Clark, who's 19, but also Clark currently getting checked out by the training staff. A 3 by La Terrell extends the lead again. Well, just take a peek at his jersey to figure out how many 3s he has in this contest. That's number 5 for La Terrell. He has 17 now. That leads all Spartans. Lead back to 5, 58-53, 2.5 to play. Smeltz. Driving, then having to pick up his dribble that time was Ray. Smeltz will get things started. Little pick and roll up at the top, nothing doing. Almost 20 seconds gone by here on this possession. Now finally a shot. That one too strong by Ray. We're going to have a foul here on the floor. It looks like it's going to stay. It's going to be on Ziegler. That'll be number 4. A long distance 3 attempt. No thank you. Spartans able to breathe a sigh of relief, still up by 5. Yeah, this is the 5 that the Spartans are going to roll with do or die here towards the end. Ziegler, the only one in foul trouble. But all of them doing quite well for themselves here in the late goings. Arguelles steps on the line. It'll belong to the Bullets. It's a good call. He ended up slipping there. Yeah, you can probably contest that there was a blocking foul somewhere along the sideline, but not getting that call. 1:32 remaining. The Bullets will be in the bonus with the next foul. They do have 1 foul to give. We'll see how they choose to use that here. As Mark Zumoff would say, we are coming in for a landing. Don't you knock Mark Zumoff. That man can do no wrong. Miss him on the air every day for the Sixers. Now we have Kate Scott. She does quite well on her own. And Ala. City of Brotherly Love, certainly spoiled when it comes to their radio broadcast. Tom McGinnis does an excellent job on the AM dial if you happen to ever tune in for Sixers games. 3 launched that time by Clark. Way off. If you're the Spartans, you'll take that. Thank you very much. Now you'll look to work some clock. La Terrell's pass picked off that time by Winkler. Winkler dropping it off. Tommy Clark back in after the ankle injury. And he's not going to be able to go. He gave it a whirl. He gave it a shot. Just in too much pain. He's deciding to walk back to the training room. A lot of frustration out of Clark there, hoping to stay in this one, but just unable to go. Brandywine will likely stay without him here for the remainder. It's not what Clark would want. He'll take a seat on the bench. Some teammates console him in the meantime. Spartan basketball, 1:02 remaining, up by 5. Nice job breaking the press that time. Eisenhower scoots it ahead. Now they're just looking to drain some clock. Yeah, there's a foul on Moyer. That was their one to give. So now both teams will find themselves in the bonus on the next foul. Called on Smeltz, his second. So yeah, do the math, both teams with 4 fouls. The rest are kind of inconsequential because everything leads to bonus. Eisenhower has it stolen. Ray unable to handle it. Goes into the YO bench. It'll stay with the Spartans here. 50 seconds now. Standing between the Spartans snapping a 4-game losing streak. Ziegler thinking 3. Now we'll fire it out to La Terrell, just draining precious seconds off that clock. Smeltz will be called for the personal. But more importantly, it will send Arguelles to the line where he is 1 of 2 this evening. Arguelles. Taking his time, lines up that right foot. Dead center. Big knee bend. Just the way they teach them. Just the way that I was teaching my first and second graders how to shoot this evening. I finally had my daughter, bless her heart, is a pipsqueak, cannot hit rim yet. One of my other players cannot hit rim either, so I do not focus an awful lot on shooting with my first and second graders. But this was a night where everyone was there who could shoot, so we did learn how to shoot. As that time, Moyer the follow after Arguelles unable to convert both. They'll kick it, a three launch, that one too strong, and a foul will send Arguelles back to the line. Just like that, Wyo's lead back up to 8. They can make it double digits and look to close this one out with 28.8 left on the clock. Arguelles will look to finish this one off. Swishes the first. But yeah, tonight's practice was all about shooting because I do have some girls that were itching to learn how to shoot. So, you know, you teach them all the good things. You teach them a layup, get the string connected from your elbow to your knee. There's all the things that I learned when I was 6, 7, 8 years old learning basketball. I get to pass that on to my daughter and a handful of other first and second graders as, once again, Arguelles 1 of 2. That one short by Ray. Ziegler is fouled. He'll go to the stripe with 17.1. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, this one is completed. An excellent job here for the Spartans, as they got the ship righted just in time. The 4th foul for Smeltz. And Ziegler hits the first. His first trip to the stripe. But it will snap a 4-game losing streak here for the Spartans. Get them off on the right foot for their final 2 games. Again, taking on Conrad Weiser. And also taking on Fleetwood to finish up as Spartans. It's a fish. 63-53. Your final score. They had quite the scare. They were up by 8, 27-19. They allowed a 13-0 run here for the Bullets. And as a result, they ended up trailing by 5. Trailed by 5 at the end of the first half. Trailed by 1 after 3. They kept clawing that lead right on back. And they finished with a 10-point victory here this evening. So we will take a quick break, show some love to sponsors. And when we return, we'll take a peek at stats. A very brief outlook of their final 2 games, since I think I've beaten those into the ground during the broadcast. But take a peek at what we still have left here for both boys and girls schedule next week when we return on the Spartan Sports Network.
The new Birdie's Inn is Exeter's family spot with great food and beverages and activities for all ages. There's a full selection of beverages to go with your meal or while you watch a game on one of the 35 TVs. For the kids, there's a family game area, as well as darts and a pool table. You can eat in the indoor dining room or out on the spacious heated deck. The new Birdie's Inn at 160 Old Friedensburg Road at 5 Points in Exeter. Proud sponsors of Berks County High School athletics.
At Birdie's Inn we meet again.
Discover the power of choice with Goosehead Insurance, the Coley Insurance Group. Coley Insurance Group is a fully independent insurance agency here to put you first. With access to 30-plus top-rated insurance carriers, they ensure you get the best coverage at the best price. Whether it's auto, home, or life insurance, they've got you covered. At Goosehead Insurance, the power of choice is always yours. Call Goosehead Insurance agent Brad Coley today at 484-838-6088. Mortgage America is Berks County's premier local mortgage lender. Why choose Mortgage America? They're a fully licensed regional mortgage banker, not just a broker. They service their own loans and offer a full menu of mortgage programs. Their turnaround times and service are unmatched in the industry, big enough to provide the best rates, yet small enough to provide personal service. Local loans for local homes. Contact Chris 9 at Mortgage America today at 610-376-1755. This week's Iron Valley Real Estate Showcase of Homes. 105 Windsor Street in Reading has large living spaces and a newly remodeled kitchen on the first floor, which give way to 2 different stairways to the upstairs, where 3 bedrooms and 1 bath await. 165 Octagon Avenue in Sinky has 2 tastefully updated baths, new AC and gas heater, a kitchen with some new appliances, and a great shaded backyard. Don't miss the opportunity to make these charming homes your own. Schedule a viewing today by calling Iron Valley at 484-450-8771. Iron Valley Real Estate. Make your move.
Back here to polish this one off, a 63-53 Wyo victory, coming from behind to snatch this one away. Like I said, it was kind of a seesaw. Wyo went up by 8. They were up 27-19 in the second quarter, ended up giving up that 13-0 run, trailed at the break, and then just started clawing everything back. And after finally putting some of these stats together, Wyo ended up outscoring Brandywine Heights. If you look at Wyo scoring in just the fourth quarter, 17 points for them. Brandywine with just 16 points the entire second half. So if you take a peek at where all that extra scoring happened to come from, it was a heck of a job there by the Spartans to get things figured out. And quite honestly, I mean, you take a peek at 18 points in the first, 14, 14, 17. It was well balanced the entire way through. The Spartans just clamping down on defense. Brandywine unable to get some of those open looks that they were able to in the first half. In the second, and that most certainly doing most of the damage. Again, just 16 second-half points for Brandywine as Wyo was able to go full steam ahead, outscoring the Bullets 17-6 in the final stanza en route to that 10-point margin of victory. For the Spartans, it was Ziegler very early on. He had 10 points in the first quarter, really kept them buoyed during the first stanza. He finishes with 15. LaTerrell ended up leading all scorers here on the Spartan side of things with 17. He had 5 3-pointers to lead the Spartans. And then going down in descending order, Aguilas with 9 points, 8 points for Eisenhower's. He had a couple of threes in his back pocket as well. And then you ended up with Max Tipton with 3. Fleischhood, an off night for him, 3 points for Danny, their leading scorer. And then 2 for Nate Rivera for Brandywine Heights. Most of their scoring came from exactly who you figured it would come from. You have Nathan Winkler and you have Tommy Clark. They ended up combining for 37, 19 for Clark, 18 for Winkler, 7 for Scotty Ray, 5 for Hermione, and then 2 apiece for Smeltz and Henry. And that's exactly how the cookie crumbles there for the Bullets, who unfortunately will polish off their schedule against Antietam in a must-win. They did beat the Mounts a little bit earlier this season. They share a similar record, so with a win, they would most certainly be able to clinch Berks 4, believe it or not. But we'll see how that ends up shaking its way out. As for us, again, we went into quite extensively the Conrad Weiser and the Fleetwood games still upcoming here for the Spartan boys. We will have that Weiser game for you right here on the Spartan Sports Network next Monday. It's a home game here as they will play the Scouts, and we'll be able to find out exactly what type of Scouts team we have coming into the building here, whether it's one that Donovan Gingrich, averaging just over 16 points a game, if he's going to set the world on fire, or if the Spartans can help extinguish that and end up pulling away here with a victory in their final 2 games that they still have on the docket. Both home games, by the way. So Weiser at home on Monday, and then we will have a girls game to wrap up their regular season on the Exeter Sports Network on Wednesday, one of our infamous Crossings of Streams. It happens from time to time whenever we happen to meet a Berks 2 foe like Exeter. We happen to bump into the Exeter Sports Network. So Darren will most certainly have at least part of that broadcast. I may be on as well. We'll see how Jerry wants to play it. But that will be next Wednesday on the Exeter Sports Network, which you can also find on the YouTubes, or if you follow Jerry Gelliff Media anywhere on the interwebs, you'll be able to find them there as well. But as for tonight, an excellent job, tenacious job by the Wyomissing Spartans. 63-53, your final score. Again, breaking a 4-game losing streak here for the Spartans as they improved to 13-7 overall, 6-2 right here at their friendly confines, and look to keep that going for their final 2 games of the season. Again, Monday right here on the Spartan Sports Network against Conrad Weiser, and then Tuesday they'll be playing Fleetwood. Then Wednesday we finish up, again, the girls' schedule right here. That'll be on the Exeter Sports Network as well. So still more Spartan basketball action to come, and we'll have it for you right here. So once again, thank you to Chris for producing this evening. Thank you to Jerry for pulling everything together. Thank you to our sponsors, and thank you to our fans for tuning in as always. And make sure that you do so again next week for the pair of games that we have right here for you on the Spartan Sports Network. So in light of that, everyone have a great evening. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us on the Spartan Sports Network for Wyomissing Boys Basketball. Brought to you by the new Birdies Inn at 5 Points in Exeter, Mortgage America, and Goosehead Insurance, the Coley Insurance Group. Join us all season long for exciting Wyomissing Boys Basketball here on the Spartan Sports Network. This has been a presentation of Jerry Gelliff Media. Good night.